Caitlin Clark absolutely snapped on the officials after witnessing Sophie Cunningham get body slammed with zero consequences. This wasn't just a bad call, it was a full-blown disgrace. The entire WNBA should be embarrassed by what went down during the Indiana Fever's nail-biting 78-74 win over the Seattle Storm. This wasn't your average missed whistle. It was a textbook case of everything that's rotting away at the core of WNBA officiating. Sophie had just snagged a defensive rebound and was calmly securing the ball when a Storm player chucked her to the ground, like they were lining up for Sunday Night Football. The ref was standing right there, front row seat and all, just watching like he was at a backyard barbecue instead of, refereeing a professional basketball game. And that's when Caitlin Clark, still stuck on the bench for her 7th straight game thanks to that lingering groin injury, had finally had enough. We have updates and her recovery's gone well. It's just, I think for us staying the course and making sure that we're really diligent about each step that we take, and that we don't have setbacks, and that we're patient with it. I know she wants to be out here on the floor. We want her out here on the floor, but making sure that she's ready is the most important thing. I still don't know how far we are. We're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and go from there. She couldn't stay silent any longer. She let it rip. You were right in front of her. Why did you change your mind? Her voice cut through the arena, and really, every basketball fan watching had to be nodding in agreement. The level of incompetence was just staggering, because this mess, this circus of officiating, it's becoming the defining crisis of the WNBA right now, and Caitlin Clark's outrage has become the battle cry for a league on the edge of collapse. Refereeing in the WNBA has officially hit rock bottom, and it's no longer just Indiana Fever fans sounding the alarm. Players, coaches, and fans from across the league are piling on because the officiating blunders are happening week after week, game after game. It's embarrassing. Just think about how insane this all is. Sophie Cunningham got slapped with a $500 fine for making a TikTok poking fun at the refs. Meanwhile, actual full contact hits are being ignored in live games. That says everything you need to know about where the WNBA's priorities are right now. And to make it worse, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert had the nerve to claim that only losing teams complain about officiating. Maybe someone should tell her that when your biggest star is getting beat up nightly, it's not about winning or losing. It's about basic safety and professionalism. This year, it's not just Caitlin Clark. If you wear that Indiana Fever jersey, consider it done. The refs are not going to be fair, and they are going to cheat and do whatever it takes to do what the higher-ups say. Even the league's most respected figures are fed up. Becky Hammon's been losing her mind publicly. Kelsey Plum is showing up to press conferences covered in scratches, wondering how she got mauled for 40 minutes and still only shot 6 free throws. But in the middle of this dumpster fire, one player is rising above the chaos. Sophie Cunningham delivered another elite-level performance that reminded everyone why she's the Fever's most clutch player. With Caitlin Clark out of action, she dropped 17 points on 5 of 6 shooting, including a deadly 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. And get this, she was the only Indiana Fever player to make a single three-pointer all game. 8 games from Sophie Cunningham, the only player on the Indiana Fever to make her threes tonight. The Indiana Fever were 4 of 21 from downtown, and Sophie Cunningham hit all 4 of those threes, 17 points. And the difference between this and the Lynx game, which was Sophie Cunningham's last really good breakout game, this wasn't late. This was, we're struggling offensively, somebody needs to come through, and Sophie Cunningham came through for us. This isn't a fluke either. Sophie has been on an absolute tear, and fans are calling her the blonde bomber because of how often she detonates from deep in the biggest moments. Ever since she went viral for backing up Clark during that Connecticut Sun Brawl, Sophie's confidence has been sky high. She gained over 800,000 followers, and her jersey sales went through the roof. She's fully embraced the spotlight, and more importantly, she's delivered when it matters most. Sophie the Trophy lit it up again tonight. Man, she has been nothing short of spectacular as of late. 5 of 6 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Sophie, the blonde bomber, has been on fire. Sophie stepped it up in a big time way. That is what you need. When your best player is out, you need the ancillary pieces to step up and deliver. And that is what Sophie Cunningham has been doing. But Sophie's rise from scrappy role player to certified WNBA star has been one of the best parts of this season. She's not just an enforcer now. She's also the Fever's most consistent offensive weapon. That's a rare combo, and it's made her a fan favorite. But even her heroics weren't enough to completely cover up another classic Fever near meltdown, because in true Indiana fashion, they nearly blew a 12-point fourth-quarter lead. Again, the Fever did everything possible to blow a game but still come out with the win. That was a near epic level collapse, folks. Wow, it should have never gotten that close. Lexi Hall, Stephanie White waited till the very last minute to put Hall in on defense. She should have been in there from 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in. On defense, they could not seem to get a big rebound to save their life, and this almost turned into a disaster. The Fever were cruising 55-42 midway through the third quarter thanks to Sophie's hot hand and solid support. But the moment they got comfortable, the wheels fell off. It's like this team gets allergic to success whenever Clark isn't on the floor. Seattle went on a 10-2 run to close the quarter and trimmed the lead to just 4. Suddenly, what should have been a drama-free win turned into a nail-biter. The fourth quarter was pure stress. Seattle clawed all the way back to make it 73-72 with just over 3 minutes to go. You could feel the anxiety in every Fever fan's chest. We've seen this script too many times, and it rarely has a happy ending. This team has a chronic issue with finishing games, and it's killing them. Boy, they almost blew it. Nonsensical whistles to stop runs, or how about blowing a whistle to stop the other team's run coming out in the second half? I will never back off of this. When you come out in the second half and you start losing leads, that is a coaching issue. I don't care what sport you're in. All right? Because what that tells you is the opposing coach went into the second, in the halftime, made adjustments. The other team comes out and they start figuring it out. Well, it's up to your coach. It's up to your coach to make adjustments against that adjustment. It's like they forget how to play basketball the moment the clock hits the fourth. And unfortunately, Kelsey Mitchell had one of her worst nights in recent memory. Watching her shoot was like watching someone try to play piano with oven mitts. She went 3 for 16 from the field and 0 for 8 from downtown. Thankfully, other players stepped up to stop the bleeding. Aaliyah Boston came through in a big way. She racked up her 6th straight double-double with 16 points and 12 boards on 7 of 11 shooting. Her personal 9-point run in the fourth quarter is what ultimately saved the game for the Fever when everything else was falling apart. Boston's resurgence couldn't have come at a better time. After struggling without Clark, she finally looks like her dominant self again. And if she can sustain this, the Fever might just survive this brutal stretch. Her presence in the paint and her improved defense have become critical, especially now that Sophie's carrying so much of the scoring load. Watching Boston get aggressive again, attacking the rim, boxing out hard, contesting shots, has been one of the few bright spots in what's been a chaotic season. I mean, AB's been huge for us. She's really been the key. She came into this league predominantly playing on the low block, getting a lot of post touches, when she was in college and her rookie year. And then, last year, her first year with Caitlin, playing a lot in the two-man. And then this year, we're asking her to be a facilitator as well. A hub for us on the offensive end of the floor, while, being more versatile on the defensive end than she probably has ever been. And she's just continued to step up to the challenge and grow and be better. She's really the rock, of our team. Veteran leadership has been a lifeline for Indiana during this injury-riddled stretch, and Natasha Howard deserves a ton of praise. She dropped 21 points and has quietly become the team's emotional anchor while everything else has been shifting. Howard's been slicing through defenses, finishing smartly around the basket like the experienced pro she is. Her veteran savvy and basketball IQ have been invaluable for a team that sometimes looks completely rudderless when Clark isn't there to orchestrate things. She knows her role inside out and plays it to perfection. No overreaching, no hero ball, just consistent execution. That kind of professionalism is what separates good teams from championship contenders. And in a league where too many players are chasing spotlight instead of staying in their lane, Howard's approach has been a breath of fresh air. Over on the other bench, the Storm had every opportunity to steal this one. They had looks, they had chances, but they completely fell apart when it mattered most. Seattle had multiple open shots in crunch time and still couldn't get it done. It's becoming their signature this season. Get close, then crumble. Skylar Diggins missed not one, but two wide-open threes that could have flipped the entire outcome. Nneka Ogwumike, who finished with 16 points, vanished in the fourth when her team needed her to take over. But the dagger came in the final seconds. Gabby Williams had a wide-open look at the buzzer to tie the game. The release looked clean, but the shot rimmed out. Sometimes basketball is cruel like that. One bounce, and the night's either magic or misery. Now sitting at 16 wins, 13 losses, the Storm are trending the wrong direction. They've dropped 3 of their last 4 at home, which is brutal timing with the playoff race heating up. There's no margin for error left. This Western Conference logjam is one of the tightest in recent memory, and Seattle is running out of games to figure out why their fourth quarters keep imploding. Home court advantage and playoff seeding are on the line every single night now. For Indiana, this win was massive. It pushed the Fever to 17 wins and 12 losses and solidified their spot at 5th in the standings. More importantly, they now own the tiebreakers over both the 6th-place Storm and the 7th-place Las Vegas Aces, 2 teams they might be neck and neck with at season's end. They've won 5 straight games without Caitlin Clark, which is nothing short of miraculous given how heavily they leaned on her earlier in the season. In fact, Indiana is now 9-7 without Clark this year, a surprisingly strong record for a squad that was expected to collapse the moment their superstar was sidelined. But this success without her also raises some serious questions about when, exactly, she's coming back. Looking ahead, the road only gets tougher. The Fever's next few games are make or break, with playoff implications on the line in every matchup. They've got to keep banking wins if they want to hang on to their spot in the standings. Clark's absence remains a giant question mark. She showed up to the arena in game-ready gear, shorts, sneakers, the whole nine, but then never suited up. That's led to plenty of speculation. Is the team just being extra cautious with her recovery? Or is there more going on than they're letting on? With the playoffs fast approaching, every day of uncertainty matters, and in the wild, wild West, it's pure madness. The playoff race is a complete traffic jam, with teams stacked up so closely that one bad week could send you tumbling. Every win is critical, every tiebreaker matters, and every referee call, or missed call, could swing a season. It shows the growth that we've had as a team, because early in the season we were just so inconsistent, and if teams were to do that, we would normally lose those games, but it just shows that we're getting closer, we're trusting each other, and we're just, I think that's the biggest part, is trusting and knowing that we can win those games even if they go on runs. Which brings us right back to the issue that kicked this all off. The officiating. It's become the defining disaster of the WNBA season. That might sound dramatic, but it's true. The league is being dragged down by refs who are clearly not up to the job. Amazing games and brilliant performances are being overshadowed by blown calls, inconsistency, and outright negligence. Players are getting hurt because refs are failing to control the physicality of games. Stars like Caitlin Clark are missing weeks because no one's stepping in to stop the dangerous, reckless defense being played against them. And the damage isn't just physical, it's reputational. Sophie Cunningham being tossed to the floor with no whistle was more than just a missed call. It was a visual symbol of everything wrong with the league right now. Clark screaming from the bench wasn't just passion, it was frustration boiling over. These aren't isolated moments. They're part of a larger crisis that's threatening to derail what should be the most exciting and transformative season in WNBA history. Fans are tuning in, arenas are packed. But if the games feel rigged or unsafe, all that momentum could vanish in a heartbeat. Yeah, Seattle's a great team, and it's hard to play here, and so we knew that. We knew that they just came off kind of a bad loss against LA, and so they were hungry for a win, but for us it's not about other teams, it's about our standard, it's about stacking the days, and I think that where our mental's at as a team and as individuals, we're in a really good spot, and it's not going to be easy, moving forward. But I think today we stayed true to the scout. We trusted the offense. Kelsey has been having a hell of a season. She was a little bit off, but she facilitated for us offensively down the stretch, and it just shows that everyone has something to give, even if your scoring's not going to be there. I'm just proud of our team, and I'm proud that we stacked today. Yet somehow, through all the madness, Indiana keeps pushing forward. They've proven they can survive without their star, but they shouldn't have to play against two opponents every night, the opposing team and the officials. The WNBA should be showcasing the best players in the world, not letting games turn into glorified wrestling matches. Referees should be enhancing the game, not becoming the storyline. From a broader view, there's still plenty of reason for optimism in Indiana. This 5-game win streak without Clark isn't just impressive, it's proof of depth, resilience, and coaching adjustments that are finally working. This team has the tools to go deep if they can stay healthy. But they'll need fair officiating and solid bench production to reach their full potential. Sophie Cunningham has become a full-blown star during this run. She's battled through dirty hits, bad refs, and intense pressure, and keeps coming up big when it counts. That's the kind of player you build championship runs around. When the lights get brightest, she gets even better. Now the pressure shifts to the rest of the roster. Can they rise to Sophie's level once Caitlin Clark returns and the playoff march begins? If Aaliyah Boston keeps playing like a dominant post presence, if Natasha Howard keeps doing the dirty work, and if Kelsey Mitchell can finally rediscover her jumper, then Indiana has a real shot at doing something special. But they'll need the whistle to finally go their way, and they'll need every player on the bench to be ready when their number's called.